Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ofyong Ikpeong. I'm a lawyer, I'm a content creator, and I'm the founder of the Human Project. I create legal content. Primarily, I create content on lifestyle as well, but I create content around legal issues in a fun way to break it down for everyone to understand so that it's not so boring or bulky. And this series, this is the first of its kind, it's the first episode. It's called the Human Project Did You Know series, and we'll be holding this series on a regular basis. We'll just break down legal issues that need the people to understand. Some people find it very boring. Anything that involves law will answer your frequently asked questions just once in a while, a way of carrying people along, a way of giving back to humanity and making sure that people understand basic things about law or complicated things that need to be explained. And today we're going to be discussing attempted suicide. I'm not going to be doing this alone. I have two seasoned legal practitioners that will be helping me with this session. The first person is already here. His name is Emine Akpanuko. Emine, welcome. Thank you for agreeing to come on board. Emine is a lawyer, a human rights expert, and he works with Centerville, Nigeria. Another person that will be joining us is Edem. We're still waiting for him. I don't know why I can't add him, and we're waiting for him to send a request. Edem is a lawyer, a dispute resolution expert, and he works with the Nigeria Chamber of Commerce Dispute Resolution Center. So I will appeal to us to just give him a minute or two. Okay, he has sent the request again. Let me try to add him. Just a minute, please. Edem, are you okay? Can you hear us? It's telling me that he's joining. He's been trying to join since.
Yes, he'll be here. I think it's.
Oh, finally. I was just introducing you. Welcome, Edem. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear us?
Right. I don't know if I've joined finally.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh, okay. I hope that your network is stable,
I think
please.
I'm having difficulty joining.
Okay. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let's jump right into it.
Right, yeah.
Oh, thank you. I would like to start with you, Emine. Can you lay the background for us, lay the foundation for us, considering the legal framework in Nigeria particularly, and if you can, other parts of the world? What are we talking about when we say attempted suicide? Can you?
Okay. Thank you very much once again, Ofyong. Attempted suicide is when someone tries to kill himself. I'm taking it for granted that everyone knows what it means to kill himself. That's suicide.
Okay. Can you speak up a little?
Yeah. I said attempted suicide is when someone tries to kill himself. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
And I take it for granted that everyone knows what it means to kill himself. That's when you try to delete yourself, unlife yourself from the world.
Mm-hmm.
And in Nigeria, the Criminal Code Act of Nigeria has a very instructive provision in section 326, as well as section 327. And attempted suicide is illegal. I'll read with your kind permission. Any person who attempts to kill himself is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable to imprisonment for 1 year. So if you are caught trying to kill yourself, we will put you behind bars for 1 year. I should also point out that section 326 specifies or criminalizes aiding suicide. That is to say, any person who procures another to kill himself or counsels another to kill himself and thereby induces him to do so, or aids another in killing himself. That you supplied the sniper, you supplied the rope, you knew what he was going to do, and you aided him. You are guilty of an offense and you are liable on conviction to imprisonment for life. So that is That's as regards the legal framework for attempted suicide in Nigeria. So this has been the case in the world for a long time, but over time, the developed world have been moving away from this background, and they have decriminalized attempted suicide, and they are embracing these people. They recognize that these people are passing through some issues, and they need to be encouraged, and they need to be given warmth and not sent, not punished. So that is it as regards the legal foundation.
Okay, Edum is not here anymore. Edum, if you can hear us, please send another request. I don't know what is going on. I wanted to ask him this, but we'll have to go ahead. So can you help us make sense of this? So suicide itself is not a crime. The person is already dead. But attempted suicide is a crime. So someone who is distressed, probably, and tries to take his own life and is caught, is further put in more distress by being punished. Can you help us make sense of it, please?
Well, it is not so hard to understand. The government frowns at you unaliving yourself. That's the term we use online these days to avoid breach of restrictions. So you're supposed to add to the productivity level of the state, all right? You're supposed to
So it's by force now.
you're supposed to no. You're supposed to help. You're supposed to help out, and then you decide to run away. You decide to be a coward.
Decide to run away.
Attempting to criminalizing, because if there's a way, as a matter of fact, I hope you know there are ways of punishing the person who has died, even in African traditional religion.
An example, please.
In our culture, if you commit suicide, you are not buried the same way an ordinary person is buried.
True.
In some cultures, you are taken to the evil forest. In some rituals have to be carried out before you can be buried. In fact, some cleansing has to be carried out before in short, it is understood that your whole family is under a curse if one of you commits suicide. So it's all of this is a way of punishing the person who has died. And the reason is the government is trying to discourage, you living without permission, you refusing
without
to
permission.
contribute. Yeah.
Living without permission.
Deciding.
Did I ask to be born, please?
That's another argument entirely.
Okay.
But the government needs everyone to contribute their quota to the economy, contribute their quota to the productivity of the state, pay your taxes, help us out. Don't run away. So discouraging this is what led to criminalizing attempted suicide. I think Barrister Edum is here would throw more light on that.
Yes, Edum, welcome back. I was going to ask you to make sense of why suicide should be criminalized in the first place. Sorry, not suicide, attempted suicide. Suicide is not a crime.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm so sorry first of all for I don't think it was network because I could follow successfully. So I don't know. He kept asking me that I was joining endlessly. But
I hope you remain now.
Yeah, I will. I'm glad to be here. Let me just say that for why we say there is this law criminalizing attempted suicide, like Eminem said. We're not allowed to die on our own terms, as it were. But then this can be traced back to if I would say the medieval era or there's this time where they say Saint Augustus when the belief, even in Nigeria now we have two major religions, which is Christianity and Islam. So basically, the belief is that you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. So way before now, we were saying that if you do not love yourself, then you are going against the reason for creation. So that was how it came up, snowballed up to the point where they now said, okay, before now usually was that if you commit suicide or you even attempt it, you forfeit your belongings, your everything that belongs to you, to the state.
Okay.
So you now got to a point where you now say, okay, since you cannot say you don't love yourself, so if you don't love yourself for yourself, Love yourself because the country needs you. The society needs you to do your, at least to pay your tax. Very important.
Very important.
Like Eminem,
Like I said,
you cannot
As
do
much as
everywhere.
it's unfair, at least it makes a little bit of sense. So, okay, considering global statistics, reports have it that about 77% of suicides worldwide take place in low and middle income countries.
Yeah.
So generally we would say it's poverty, right? It's hardship. That's the root cause that will push people into committing suicide, even though there are other causes. So I would like us to examine other causes apart from poverty. And then for those in the high income countries who at least have access to basic things, what would make someone in a high income country want to take their own lives?
well, if I may,
okay.
okay. I
Okay,
want
so
to say,
No, Eminem, go ahead.
I'll hand it over to you, but I want to say, as a matter of fact, I don't think poverty is a cause
Okay.
of suicide.
No, but it's just
poverty
a general belief.
poverty is a trigger. Poverty is
True.
a trigger. You know, suicide is caused by depression, and depression is a mental impairment. It is a sickness. It is a disease. This disease has triggers. The most popular form of this trigger is poverty. You know, and that's why we have a high spate of suicides, you know, in developing states. I will leave it over to Vice Stadium now.
Okay.
Okay, like when Eminem says poverty, he draws it down to the third world country classification. But then our Western guys will want us to call it financial crisis. They were. But then we know what our problem is. It's not crisis like that. Yeah. But then, like you said, it's a trigger. There are a lot of things when I like looking at it like in the area of risk factors, you know, that may lead to suicide, or that may exacerbate the situation. Yes. You know, because like he said, it's normal. It's a mental disorder. No matter how we want to look at it, you may not have been born with it. You may not have been, you know, it may be caused by some triggers over time, over some circumstances that you may have found yourself. Maybe maybe when we look at the risk factors, it may be things you've exposed yourself to, probably substance abuse, you know, that may have led to it. You know, you may have been passing through a kind of maybe a chronic health situation, you know, a kind of pain that you're unable to bear anymore, you know, a kind of physical disability that you're unable to fathom, to understand, or a way you see your body, the way you see how you are. You know, a lot of people feel bad when when they are spoken against in a kind of way. You're spoken about your body structure, your body frame. They say go and lose weight, go and do this. A lot of people take it in a different way. So some kind of issues with regards to health, because some people don't even understand that when some people that are extremely fat, there is something called obesity, which is a condition which has led the person to that level. You know, so people just go ahead and, you know, say some kind of things that messes up with them. And then so, like Emina has said, some of these things that the triggers do exist, the risk factors do exist. There is loss of a loved one, you know, that leads to a lot of these things. Sometimes it may not necessarily even be poverty, you know. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things. Even exposure to some kind of you know, suicidal behaviors around you could even be a trigger. You could see some things and feel that this thing goes well, it's okay like this. So those are some of the factors. I mean, now I'm not taking out the issue of financial crisis, because this also makes someone, you know, look at what he's passing through.
Especially in Africa.
Especially in Africa, with the pressure. If like we'll get to see later in the discussion when Emine is talking about, we'll be talking about statistics. You realize that men are mostly, you know, put in that category. Yes, because of the pressure. Like in Africa, for example, like you mentioned.
Man up. Don't talk about your feelings. Men don't cry.
Yeah, so that is a lot. Those are some of the causes, you know, that lead to this thing.
So we can also mention shame of being criticized or being mocked for being depressed.
this last suicide I heard of is of a priest who was exposed for some extramarital affairs, and you know how the story goes, and he actually unalived himself.
Took his own life, yeah.
So the shame, you know, for being exposed. I mean, we had another pastor. I mean, yes, I saw it online, so I've been using it. We have some other less spoken about causes like video games. There is this video game I read
betting.
About that.
Is it betting?
No. Video games like PS. There's a particular
people kill themselves over video games.
No. It's not. The game is violent. The game exposes you to certain. It affects your mind. It encourages people to kill themselves. It encourages people to be violent. You know.
Oh wow.
Just the same way you would say Grand Theft Auto encourages violence in the society. There are particular games that encourage suicide. Yes, less spoken about, but it's also one of the causes. Domestic violence as well. Domestic violence. Yes,
true.
Domestic
violence. You spoke about ill health. I think some countries have embraced mercy killing. When someone is sick and in pain and cannot take life anymore. Yes. I don't know if it's something we should introduce to Nigeria or but I mean, if someone has been sick and is in pain and wants to die, I'm not supporting suicide or mercy killing. I'm just saying, why would you keep the person in pain because he has to contribute to the growth of the economy or contribute his quota and must be happy because of creation?
It's not just that. I think it's all also down to the sanctity of human life. The sanctity of human life is sacred, you know. You cannot take what you did not give. Yes.
True. Okay. You've said that we have to stay alive to contribute our quota to the economy or to humanity. So far, has there been a reduction in the rate of suicide because it's been criminalized? What have we gained as a country from making it a crime?
For me or for
anyone? Okay, Adam, let's hear you.
Let me quickly respond that research has shown that in some cases, we cannot say it has helped or it has not helped, but then whether it has helped the argument is more to the fact that it may have helped, but then there are countries, for example, like Sweden, where even after decriminalizing attempted suicide, it went up. Yes, it skyrocketed. So we have such situations, and we have situations where, like in United Kingdom, where, and even in China and some other places, where immediately it was decriminalized, the rate of attempted suicide
dropped. Yes.
So in Nigeria, at the moment, criminalizing it has not helped. That's what I can say. I watched a video recently of I think the president of the Psychiatric Association of Nigeria, something like that, where he was saying that these guys don't need to go to prison, they just need therapy, they need help, because it, getting to prison, even like I said earlier, it exacerbates the problem. It is more likely that it will increase the issue, because they get into prison and they even they see more. When you get into prison and you realize that you're locked up, this place is not even where you're supposed to be.
It can trigger suicide again or attempts to commit suicide again.
I hope you know. Sorry, I hope you know that prisoners are one of the people that are susceptible to suicide.
Yes. To suicide.
Yes. Being in prison,
being confined,
is a risk factor. Yes, it's a risk factor. And we have a high rate of suicides in prisons.
Unfortunately, we don't even have.
Nigeria has not helped has not helped so far. Whether decriminalizing it will help, well, we need to decriminalize it first to see. But then,
yes,
at the moment, we can say for sure that all of us agree, even stakeholders within the mental health industry, all agree that criminalizing it has done more harm than
has not helped. At least in Nigeria, our own is prison term. I just read a story on Sahara Reporters recently. A Nigerian woman that relocated to Iraq for greener pastures. She couldn't take life anymore. She tried to take her own life, and then she was caught. And then she was sentenced. Sorry, I'm laughing. I'm not supposed to laugh.
Did you say she relocated to Iraq for greener pastures?
Yes. And then
nice.
They caught her and they sentenced her to death by beating.
Mm.
They've not killed her yet, but that's what they intend to do by next month. So it doesn't make sense. At least our own, we even put people in prison. This one, they want to beat her to death.
So she wanted to take the easy way out. So they are trying. So
it's tougher now.
Yes, the harder way out.
I'm sorry we are laughing about this, but it's very serious.
We're supposed to laugh, but some things are actually hilarious.
But then some of them.
Okay, so
I saw a situation of a guy in Saudi Arabia who attempted. Let me not say attempt. He did not attempt. He threatened that he was going
to kill himself.
He threatened, and he was.
And what happened?
Every day.
Why am I laughing? He was flogged for threatening to kill himself. No, some traditions, some cultures or religions are rather too harsh.
There are places where it is crazy. There is no reason why it should be like that. There's no reason for what. Yes, there's no reason why it should be like that. Whether it is prison term, whether it is flogging, whether it is whatever it is, there's no reason. There's no reason why. It's like your son telling you, Daddy, I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat again. And then you start flogging the child for not
wanting to eat.
Yes, it's crazy.
Instead of trying to find out why he doesn't want to eat and trying to find him help.
Which is what our government should do.
True.
You don't just jump. One of my lecturers said, Nigerians, we have perfected the act of shooting before actually aiming. You just jumped into criminalizing attempted suicide. You have not cared to find out
how dare you try to die?
Why are people trying to die? Because like I will always say, anybody who is caught for attempting suicide was not really serious about dying. Because if I want to die and I'm serious about dying, you will not catch me.
You don't know.
No, all these people that go to Third Mainland Bridge and then sit down first, and and then people will now come and then it shows you that this person is not okay. It's not as if he wants to die. It's not fine.
You
have to find out. Yes, he needs help. Because somebody that wants to die has decided to die. I don't need to go there. In the comfort of my home, people will not even discover me until maybe after 3 months. When I don't know if you get the check.
Get your point. We're not trying to be insensitive. It's just we're being realistic.
But it is what it is. So we have to find out what is the reason for this, this act, before you now find out the way of controlling this act. So when you discover that the reason for this act is mental, it's a sickness, it's a mental impairment, it's a problem, it's a disease, which in developed countries, it is medically diagnosable. You will now be able to attack these root causes.
I mean, recently, is it a celebrity came out to say that she's bipolar, and people were making skits and making fun of the whole situation. We don't take it seriously. Take it seriously. I can give you an instance, my personal experience as a first-time mom when I had my first child. I didn't know I was depressed. I had postpartum depression. So we go to the hospital, they will tell us as mothers to be, buy this is the hospital list, get this is how you're going to push when you get into the delivery room. Nobody prepares us for what comes after. I just sat down and I felt like I was in ghost land. Nothing was interesting. I was just there. It was God that helped me.
Being taken out.
Yes. So I recovered by God's grace. But what about the mothers who throw their babies away? You see, a mother will drop her newborn from a story building or throw the baby into a river. I'm not justifying what they did, but the truth is
even a bigger crime.
Okay. But the truth is that most people don't even know that there's something like postpartum depression. So why not? Apart from preparing women to have their babies, why not have a psychologist speak with them before and after delivery? You just say, are you the first mother? Are you the first person to have a baby? We don't take it seriously, and it's sad. So that's
the problem we have, Fifi. That even in the health industry,
if you go to the hospital and say you are depressed, nurse will, Madam, get out. Madam, what's this one? Before you know it, you have died, though.
No, well, we have to appreciate some of them who are not like that. Majority of them actually are not like that. But then
I know.
But then we need to understand that in Nigeria, it goes down. it goes really bad, even down to the industry itself that is supposed to, make create the path for others to follow. Where you have a situation where a pregnant woman is complaining about how she's feeling or how depressed she's feeling, and they're like, "Are you the first? Now you be the first person to born pikin? See me, I get 4." And all of that.
If you even give birth through surgery, they can shame you into believing that you didn't do well. All those things contribute.
You should have pushed yourself to death.
Yes. So we don't need to guess that this whole thing
that you did not do well.
This whole thing puts us in a negative light in the global space, considering the current trends in mental health. So can we quickly outline the risk factors or what to look out for to know that someone is being suicidal? What can you see in someone and get help immediately?
Yeah, well, Fifi, this I would not want to, at the risk of saying that these signs are easy to detect. At the risk of saying that, I would just say that we should, as people living with each other, friends around each other, family members, should be very, very watchful. So let me not say that it is very easy to detect, because sometimes it may not necessarily even be. But then you should watch out for some little things. When people start showing signs of hopelessness, when they start, some of them may go on their status, start posting some kind of things.
Suicidal things.
Yes, why me? Some of those things, when someone just goes to his status and post 3 crying smileys, 3 crying smileys, goes and say, I'm sad, moody, those kind of things.
Sometimes you don't start again.
We know people do it for fun sometimes, or just for clout, like they call it. But then we should be more responsive. We should look out for a situation where someone who was lively, suddenly starts changing his attitude, suddenly becomes gloomy, start acting strange, starts changing how he eats. Someone that likes food, a foodie, I know
yourself.
I know Eminem like food.
Don't say that. Don't say that thing you want to say.
He's talking about himself.
like myself, I would say. I like, so if you for whatever reason, stumble upon me, except I'm fasting, and I tell you that I don't feel like eating for a day, for 2 days, you should have cause to reason,
what's going on.
Then for parents, they should look out for when a child drops in school for maybe for poor performance. The performance of the child drops suddenly in school, for no reason whatsoever. You just see a child's performance drops. Instead of flogging the child, going after what that child is doing and maybe wanting to use the rod, you rather speak to the child, know why those things are happening. The child may be passing through bullying in school. The child may be going through a lot of things. Maybe the teachers are not doing particular things right. So there are some of these signs, warning signs, I will call it, that we should always look out for. Someone just suddenly starts using alcohol, start taking drugs out of the blues for no reason whatsoever, starts withdrawing from society, starts acting, strange. So that's sometimes someone that is very serious starts making fun of things, unnecessarily.
True.
We should just, watchful of.
You shouldn't take everything for granted.
Yes, we should rarely take these things for granted. We should look at it very seriously, take it very seriously. If someone tells you he's down, his mood is down, you should not make fun of it. So these are some of the signs. So you resist the urge to do those things. Like Eminem used to say, resist the urge. To be always
funny.
Yes, to always be funny. I'm not saying we should not be funny, but even Eminem, who is a funny man, who sometimes he will tell you should resist the urge. There are times for seriousness. There are times you watch out for for these things.
Okay.
Yeah. In addition, I think it doesn't get. Oh, are we running out of time? I wanted to add.
No, go ahead. Please.
He's talking about the little signs you have to look out for. It doesn't get more telling that someone telling you, guy, I'm not okay.
Okay.
And a lot of people actually do that. Guy, I'm not okay. And then people will tell you, you are okay. Jesus' name.
Because you don't want them to ask you for urgent 2K.
It's not possible. How can you say, okay, guy, come up for you, they play, So pay attention to those details. When someone openly tells you, guy, I'm not okay, find out why. And then I think the Nigerian government has to do better. Like, that's the conclusion.
Yes, that's where I'm going now.
That is
that's where I'm going now.
The ball is rolling to. Yes.
So,
let's get there.
So as we round up, let's quickly talk about.
We're on the same topic. There's a comment. Since we're on the same subtopic, there's a comment that relates to what we just discussed now. So someone is asking.
There's a question.
It's curious on how our warning signs, can be related. How can it be applied to people in rural communities? Because it looks like a lot of warning signs we mostly see are the ones that are related to urban, the
areas.
Yes. Urban side. Yeah. So I'll just, before Eminem says something, I'll just quickly say that, like Eminem had said before now, whether in the rural or in the urban area, whether in English, whether in Pidgin, whether in Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, there's someone that will always tell you, I am not fine. There is someone that will always tell you, I'm not feeling okay. Or there's someone that will show you that they are not feeling fine. So these warning signs, as it were, no matter how touch some of them may sound, but then there are some of them that are relatable to any no matter the place you are. So whoever you are, you should watch out. Always watch out for some signs. Someone just falls off, the pecking order of fun, of joy, of happiness, starts being gloomy. These things are things, they are human attributes. They are things that happen to everybody, whether in civilized societies, whether in local areas. So
apart from that, I think this whole mental health awareness thing should be taken to the rural areas as well. You've said that because you are in an exposed environment, you are already exposed. But in the villages, which village person will have time to examine someone's emotions? Yeah, so we need to take it. NGOs, governments, everyone has to take this
knowledge and eradicating ignorance. Just to handle that question, it's global. I mean, the questionnaire or the signs are global. For instance, in the developed world, we have a patient health questionnaire to know if a person is depressed
or not.
I'll go through some of the questions, and when I go through some of the questions, you will discover there's nothing civilized or rural about the answers.
Okay.
Does this person have little interest or pleasure in doing things? It doesn't matter what the things are.
Yeah.
Someone that used to go to church before is no longer going to church. Someone that used to attend the village ceremony is not going out. He's not doing things. That's little, feeling down, depressed or hopeless, trouble falling or staying asleep, or sleeping too much. Still a problem.
Yes.
Feeling tired or having little energy. It doesn't matter whether you're in the civilized world or you're in the villages.
Or losing interest in fun things.
Yes. So, poor appetite, overeating, feeling bad about yourself, or that you are a failure, or you have let yourself down, or your family. You have trouble concentrating on things such as reading the newspaper or watching television, or concentrating on anything, moving or speaking so slowly that other people could have noticed, or the opposite, being so fidgety or restless that you have been moving around a lot more than usual, thought that you could be better off dead. People keep muting these ideas, thoughts, those are signs of hopelessness, thoughts that they could be better off dead, of course, from there, you'll be able to know that there's a scale. You score yourself on these lists, on these 9 items on the list, and then know whether you are, the rate. You can even self-diagnose. You know whether you are doing okay or you're not okay.
So you can get help. And speaking of help, I found this helpline. The funny thing is that their website is showing that they are closed, and I'm wondering why a suicide helpline will be closed. It's supposed to be open 247, including with yes, Human Development Initiative.
Because this is Nigeria. It will be closed because this is Nigeria.
I will still read out the number anyway. 0808 0551 376 and 0808 0551. Okay, it's the same number. 0808 0551 376. It's called Human Development Initiative, and they're currently closed. So if someone is having suicidal thoughts on a Sunday, the person's own is finished. I'm not mocking their efforts, please. I'm just saying we should do better. Why should suicide helpline be closed?
This is what I think. In Nigeria being what it is, if you don't help yourself, you are gone.
You are gone.
So the first step
so you have to speak up.
If you have, just tell somebody, just confide in someone, let someone help you, because depression glorifies itself in silence, in the secret. You know, you see people like that, they withdraw, they stay in their homes, they don't speak. Once you start speaking, share with someone.
At least someone will be able to get you help, or will amplify your voice for you by telling others, come, this person needs help. This person is not okay.
Speaking to someone does not automatically solve your problems, but I can assure you it's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
Good things will come from there.
But then guys, we need to also appreciate the fear that is usually associated with speaking with someone. When we appreciate that fear, that's when we'll get to understand why people don't even, do that. Because we need to also appreciate the reason for people reacting the way they react when someone says, "I'm not feeling fine." Because right now, currently, we're using Nigeria as an example. We're in a state of what Honorable Biagbon will say, dismal. Like, we're in a state where any attempt to say you are not feeling fine, I will not wait for you to say it, to finish your statement. In my head, you want to build me.
True.
In my head, you want to build me.
You are fine in Jesus' name.
That's what I was saying. Now you don't want someone to ask you for urgent 2K. And you can't blame us for feeling that way anyway.
You can't, because of the way
people are. Yes, people are. You have to be intelligent about this thing. I mean, we have not spoken in years, and you choose me as the right person to talk about the fact that you are depressed. Why this?
Is that not mean?
Why you will do this? Don't you have a pastor that you have been going to church every Sunday? Don't you have people that you have been? I mean,
the point is, don't live your life in isolation. Try not to live life in isolation, so that when you need help, people will not say, "What is this? Where have you been?"
Yeah.
Where have you been? Why are you? Why now? Why now?
Why you will do this?
In my head, I'm like, this guy wants to ask me for money. But the fears are genuine, though. The fears are genuine. They even go beyond. Maybe they range from the fear of being mocked, the fear of being misunderstood, the stigma, because you get to tell someone that, "See, I'm thinking of taking my life." Telling someone, some Nigerians, that you're thinking of taking your life, makes that person
just laugh
entirely. The person may laugh or may keep it to himself, but then the way the person relates to you, the person sees you as a madman. A lot of Nigerians or Africans as well would automatically see you in different light. So that fear is what makes a lot of people, not to, take it, and the fear of not being taken really serious.
Yes.
Is one of the most important fears. So if, for example, Ofion calls me and says, "Omo guy, I like this how I feel since I gave birth. I've been feeling somehow. My skin is changing. I'm having skin pigmentation. I'm having
the one we saw." That was enough to have taken that lady's life. You remember the story of the lady that had her skin peeled and everything?
I saw that video. So imagine, this is my tummy. As little as this, my tummy is disturbing me. I've done a lot of diet.
I've stopped worrying about that one.
Yes, and then all I can tell Fifi, is, you say, big stomach. See your mate with big stomach, or see your waiting be there. Don't be worried. that thing is
Or
bothering
now you know what make you
you, take
reduce
it down.
now.
Eh,
They do now you know
you
what
they
now you know
lazy.
they're serious. You they lazy, you know.
So those are the fears. So we need to also understand the fears. So we speak on one hand of people not speaking up, but we also speak on one hand and encourage people that when they speak up, if eventually, if and when they speak up, we should be more receptive. We should not play down, the
People's
Should not downplay
feeling.
their feelings, yes.
yeah,
Yes.
the seriousness of the issue. Yes.
Oh,
So I think if anything,
okay.
we have been able to understand that criminalizing attempted suicide has not done anything.
It hasn't helped, no.
The government should do
Mhm.
better, and not only should we fold our arms and wait for the government to do things, we as
We keep speaking.
individuals must also do things, to help ourselves. Yes.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been very interesting. We'll just keep amplifying our voices. We'll keep helping the little way we can. And we are looking forward to legal reforms and also seeing people reform their mentality, especially in Africa, so we can break free from this norm of we should be okay. What's wrong with you? Are you the only one that is going through, one bad thing or the other? Thank you so much. For everyone that watched, thank you. The video will be on my wall, so you can still watch it later. You can share it with your friends. And like I said, this is the first episode of the Human Project Did You Know series. We'll be having series like this often so that we can answer your frequently asked questions and throw more light on legal issues that we believe that people should know, and maybe it seems complicated. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much,
Gentlemen,
Fifi. It's been a
thank
pleasure
you.
being here.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Good
Pastor
night.
Sedim, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have
All
a
right.
great night.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Bye.